Hey, this is Craig, and we are looking at the HTC One X Plus. The One X Plus is available now exclusively on AT&T for $200 after signing a 2-year contract. Essentially, it's the same exact phone as the One X on the outside, but the real changes and upgrades are on the inside. It comes with Android 4.1 Jelly Bean right out of the box, and it sports a 1.7 GHz NVIDIA Tegra 3 chip, 64 gigabytes of storage, and a slightly larger battery this time around. It also has the same 4.7-inch Super LCD 2 720p display that we saw on the One X. And despite the large screen size, the device doesn't actually feel overwhelming to hold at all. As far as other specs, there's 1 gig of RAM and an 8 megapixel rear camera with a 1.6 megapixel front-facing camera. The One X Plus has a unibody shell, which means you can't replace the battery and there's no micro SD card slot. But the 64 gigs of storage should be plenty for most users, and the larger battery will most likely be just fine for a lot of owners. Speaking of the battery, I was able to go almost 2 days from light to moderate usage, and well over 12 hours from moderate to heavy usage. That's certainly respectable, and frankly, I wouldn't really expect anything less. The screen is really great. Again, it's the same display that's on the One X, which arguably has one of the best displays on the smartphone market, other than the Droid DNA, of course. The display is super crisp and clear, and it provides an excellent viewing experience with text and images showing up extremely sharp and bright. As aforementioned, the One X Plus runs 4.1 Jelly Bean, so it comes with all the new Android features like Google Now and Project Butter, and of course, HTC Sense UI runs on top. But it actually doesn't get in the way as much as it could. There's obviously a lot of reskinning, but big features like Google Now are left completely alone, which is really nice. The phone performs incredibly well. Navigating is really smooth and snappy. Gaming was the same, although Asphalt 7 had some issues with lag and low frame rates, but Mass Effect Infiltrator actually played really well. As far as the camera, it's nothing too special, although I really like the UI of the app itself. There's dedicated shutter buttons side by side, one for taking pictures and the other for recording video. These are incredibly handy since you don't have to switch between the two modes. There's also a quick pull down menu that has all sorts of effects that you can apply to your photos and videos in real time. Image quality is subpar. With enough lighting you can take crisp photos, but any kind of low light will introduce a world of noise that almost makes the photos look blotchy. Video quality was pretty decent. The upgraded sensor records 30 frames per second instead of 24 frames per second of the One X, but most users won't really notice a difference between the two. Overall, the One X Plus is definitely a step up from the One X spec-wise, and the addition of Jelly Bean is probably one of the biggest selling points of this new phone. However, if you already have a One X, there's really no point in upgrading to the One X Plus, especially since the One X is being upgraded to Jelly Bean as well. However, if you're in the market for a completely new phone and don't mind HTC Sense UI, the One X Plus is actually a really good choice.